Hello, today I went to Cadgwith Cove on the south coast of Cornwall. I parked in the upper car park and followed this lovely little path down to the village. My husband has been walking the southwest coast path in sections, and today he wanted to walk the 11 miles between Cadgwith Cove and Roskillies. I decided to have a wander around Cadgwith Cove, do a sketch, and then I could drive and meet him at Roskillies. I always enjoy this walk down to the village. On the way, I noticed my first blackberries of the year and had one. It's quite a warm, hazy day, but from here you can see the sea. I also passed by a flock of Canada geese grazing in the field. The thought of them stayed with me, and later in this video I do a sketch of a Canada goose. Continuing on my walk to the cove, I passed by this little corrugated iron church. It's called St Mary's, and in 1907 the first vicar of it helped take part in a huge sea rescue. 456 passengers were rescued from an ocean liner which had run into rocks. I love all the thatched cottages in the village. And also this old Triumph. I walked through the village and up the coast path on the other side. I really like the view over the rooftops. Even though this is our busy season, it's still quite quiet here. Cadgwith Cove is still a working fishing cove. I carry along the coast path, enjoying all the flowers and greenery. A little further along, I pick out a bench overlooking the cove. I love seeing the turquoise patches of sea from this height. My bench is also close by this little hut up on the cliff top. I'm not sure if it's used for anything nowadays. I can't really see much of the village when I'm seated on the bench, so I decided to do this view of the rocks and cliffs. I just start off with a quick pencil sketch. It's not particularly to scale. And here's my travel art kit, which I hadn't unpacked from the last time I used it. After the pencil sketch, I just start lightly filling in watercolour areas. I see a boat coming in and try and include it in the painting, though I later remove it again because I didn't do a very good job of it. I also put a first layer of painting on the rest of the hillside. I don't mind the painting too much at this point and could leave it there, but I decided to carry on just because I'm enjoying sitting playing with art stuff. I start adding pencil details, for example putting definition in the house and on the rocks. I carry on with more pencil. This is the finished version where I've removed the boat now, and I add some gelatos and also tempera paint sticks. It's quite nice too. As I'm sketching, several people come by and talk to me, including a lovely woman from the Netherlands who's an artist. After a quick visit to the beach, I walk back up to the car and go and pick up my husband from Roskilly's after having an ice cream there. Back at home, I get out my Stilman and Burn Nova Beige sketchbook. I actually set up in bed along with my travel kit because the dining room where I usually work is being used. I just fancied doing a mixed media sketch of a Canada goose. I squeeze out some Holbein white gouache paint into my watercolour palette and just dive straight into painting the white parts of a goose. I then mix sepia and Lutea blue for the dark parts of the goose. I work very quickly for these parts and don't bother with any pencil outlines. It's great fun just slapping the paint on. This is the Princeton Neptune brush that I'm using, and I use the flat edge to start adding some more detail to the goose. I'm not taking a great deal of care here. You can see how the paint's all kind of just mixing together on the goose's back. Then I just add a bit of yellow ochre detail. And a bit of granulating grey for shadow. I then add luminance coloured pencils and a Holbein soft white coloured pencil to add all the little feather details onto the goose. I got a Coast Guard emergency call out before I'd filmed that. So I'm filming this later on, back in the dining room when I get back. So this was really quick to do and I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. I feel like birds are a really good subject for painting. You don't have to be super accurate for them to look vaguely like they're supposed to. I don't think it's like painting a person where if you get the features a bit wrong, they can look really wrong. I always like it when you add the bird's eye because then the whole thing comes together. Also, my Stilman and Burns Nova pad is quite new, so I've not done too much painting on the beige surface yet. But I thought because there was a good deal of white on the goose that it would probably show up nicely on the beige. I think it worked quite well having the contrast of the black and white and then also the similar tone of the browns in the goose to the paper. I didn't find any problems with working with gouache and watercolour together. I like how they mixed together and caused quite a bit of variation on the goose's back. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I've been up to. As always, thank you very much for watching. Bye!